Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Learn This Deck with the Dreaming Way Tarot. And yes, today is a very special episode. For the past few days, we've gone through the cards of the Major Arcana of this awesome deck, and we've seen, or rather, we've really delved into the imagery of the card, right? We've looked at the card image and ultimately analyzed the contents of that image, and then worked out or come up to something called the card story, or the story of that card. Now, what I did today is I have put together the story of the Major Arcana. That's right. All of these cards of the Major Arcana, when you put them together in order, they form a story. It's like an adventure of sorts, maybe an adventure of the fool, maybe, who goes on this whole quest for his own self, for his own life, for understanding his spiritual life. It could be interpreted in a multiple, in a myriad of ways. But the thing is, it is all part of a single story. That's why it's often called the journey of the fool. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to put all the cards together and come up with the story. So, what I did actually in my journal is I put the names of the cards on one side, then I went through the card stories that I had written so far, and so I sort of honed in or zoomed in on the main concept or the main key phrase or the main sort of central sort of thread in each story, and I wrote it down on right next to the name of the card. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weave that story together. I've got my journal right here with me, so I'm going to put it all together in a story for you. So I hope it it comes together in a way that makes sense, because I'm just doing this live right here, right now, on the videos of. Whoops, here goes. So here's my story, okay? And well, since I wrote all my stories in the first person point of view, so I guess this Major Arcana story will also be in, the way I'll tell it, it'll be in a first person point of view. So here it is. Here I am, ready to take the leap. I have absolutely no idea what lies ahead of me and what the ending of this story is going to be like, but I do know one thing, that it's going to be an adventure. I have a lot of secret things going on inside of me, so many things in my head, in my life, but I'm not going to tell anyone what it is. I'm not going to reveal anything to anyone. With all this wisdom that I have inside of me, and I instinctively seem to know so many different things. I wonder if I will ever be able to, make sense of it all. I do know one thing though, as the motherly instinct inside of me takes over, I've realized that I will love and I will cherish everything and everyone who is part of my life. Okay. But the fatherly side of me wants to draw a line. Yeah, at some point, you should draw a line, because loving someone also means letting them grow on their own. So, all I can do for them at that point is to be there for them. So, as I realize all these things, I realize that I can't just live my life any which way I want, right? There are rules, there are systems, so I can live my life the way I'm supposed to live. But life is all about making choices. It's about the people that I love and the things that I love, and it's about choosing and doing the right thing. Okay. But then I also realize, as I come to this point here in the journey, I realize that the journey was a lot more fun than the destination. And that was an interesting realization. So then I kind of turn a corner, and then I find, and then there another realization sort of waits for me. I realize that ultimately, deep down inside, we are all the same, that we are all made of love, that we may look different, but we are the same, really. So then I withdraw into myself, and this solitude brings me all kinds of blessings, chief among which I guess would be silence and wisdom. And all those different things that I always used to wonder about, which, are instinctively inside of me, finally I'm starting to see the sense in those things. I'm starting to see what they're all about. So as I see how the threads of fate are woven for each and every one of us, I have a question. Do we make our destiny, or does our destiny make us? Hmm? Life ultimately is about finding the truth, which will then lead you to finding that balance in your life. And then, of course, what do you do with it? How do you act upon all that wisdom? That's important. But sometimes, you can't solve everything right away. So you need to take a step back and try to see things from a different point of view, from a different angle. And then, as you let go of your hold over all these questions, you really start to see what the answers are. That, as you're uncovering the layers, so to speak. And then a change comes over me. I realized that I finally started to leave my old ways behind me, and I've started to create space for something new, for the deeper understanding to come in my life. And as this inner and outer transformation finally starts to sort of manifest in my life, I start feeling calm and my mind starts clearing up. And I have now unfolded yet another deep sort of layer within myself, and seen what seems to be the truth. But the thing is, I want so many things. I want so many different things to manifest in my life. And the sad part is, I also have started to realize that it's going to cost me. Nothing in life is free, and some things cost a lot more than just money. Every single thing that I have created, that I have built so far, that I have sort of known and loved and depended on, and some things that I said were kind of thought, or thought which were the structure of my life, all of it starts to crumble down. I've realized that everything can just go everything just becomes dust in one single split second. Life is so fragile. So I start to let go of the hold and my attachments to all the things that I've held on to in my life, all the feelings, all the emotions, all everything. I'm just letting it all go. And a sense of hope, a sense of promise starts to unfold within me. And a lot of symbols and a lot of signs and a lot of things I start to sense and feel and see in my dreams. And I wonder what they're all about. I'm trying to, this is probably the deepest, maybe it's in the depths of my subconscious, all these things, and I'm trying to make sense of what those symbols really mean. And as the clarity unfolds inside of me, I finally connect with my heart and with the true purpose in my life. And that joy, sort of childlike joy, fills me up. I am so ready for this adventure now that I have all this understanding and wisdom inside of me. And that's when I finally really listened to the message that was hidden within these layers of these experiences. These are my deep sort of karmic lessons. These are the guidances that the universe has sent me. Finally, I'm able to make sense of what it is and understand what it is. And as this knowledge and wisdom unfolds within me, I start to actually put these things into practice, all that information, all that knowledge, all the practical and spiritual and whatever things, wisdom that I have gained so far, I have to put it into practice, right? I did that. I'm doing that. And as the cycle winds up, I'm just right here, taking a little bit of a nap before I start my new adventure. Wasn't that fun? this this was the story I just kind of made up right now, and this is the story of the Major Arcana. These are, you can, if the way it's laid out right now, you can see, right? It's the fool who goes through these cards and learns, or these cards are just snapshots of the different experiences and growth points that he has in his story, and in each card, in each plot point, you can say, he learns something and ultimately ends up in the world card. But the world card is not where the story really ends. It's actually, like we saw yesterday, it's a transition point, really. It's where the fulfillment sort of happens and the new cycle sort of begins. So ultimately, this guy in the world card will find himself back in the fool card again, and a new journey, a new experience, a new cycle will unfold. That is the story of the Major Arcana. All right. So, what was your story? What kind of sort of plot did your cards weave for you? Um, Go ahead. You can write something. Even if it's something really simple like my journal entry, or something very intricate. Be creative. Don't ever think that you can't be creative back, because that's silly. We are all very, very creative, and we just don't, the moment you stop thinking, oh my god, I can't, is you will realize that, oh my god, I can. Okay, so just write your story and don't worry. Okay, feel free to take a picture of your journal or whatever, and post it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Use the hashtags learn this deck. You can also use hashtag Major Arcana, hashtag card story, hashtag dreaming with tarot, and hashtag TaroticallySpeaking. But with all these hashtags, we can basically search each other out on these social media platforms and find each other, and share our knowledge and wisdom with each other. It's a great way to do that. So do that. What is your Major Arcana story? All right. So I will be back again tomorrow, and we will start with the suit of wands. Okay. So we'll go into each of the cards of the wand suit and see what the story is all about over there. All right. So until tomorrow, be good, stay cool, and learn this day. Bye now.